Test 1, 2, 3.
He's tapping me.
He was doing that to my face. You're so dead.
And I just did it again. I'm falling. How do you get it away?
Oh yeah, no, he was slapping me as well, but like in the face 5 times. I mean, you can tell it was me.
Shabbat Shalom.
He tapped me 10 billion.
Let's try that again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So welcome to Erev Emmanuel here in Mount Laurel, and those of you who are joining us through the blessing of technology on this wonderful Shabbat, which is our first Friday of the month of March. So we're going to be celebrating March birthdays and anniversaries and other life cycle events. And we're delighted that we have our Children's Habonim Choir with us, helping us lead the music. That doesn't mean they're going to sing and we're going to watch, but rather they're leading us and we're all going to participate. The other beautiful thing we have tonight is that tonight is about honoring our teachers and our madrichim, who are, for those of you who don't know who are madrichim, those are our student teachers who are in the classroom who really help facilitate the learning for all our students. And we have students here tonight in grades 3 through 6 who are going to be leading different parts of our service. So a lot going on. And if that weren't enough, we are on the cusp of celebrating Oliver Lieberman becoming a bar mitzvah tomorrow when he's called to the Torah for the first time. So a lot of good, wonderful, joyful things happening in our synagogue, and we're glad that each of you are here today. Just a reminder, though it might seem like if your child is in grade 4 and coming up to the bima to lead a prayer, that's like singing in the school choir or the band, it's really for the congregation to participate, and we ask that you put your phones down and be part of the Shabbat worship. We are live streaming as we speak, so if you want to go back and watch, you will have that opportunity to see your children, and it will be captured forever as long as we have it on our live stream. Facebook is, or YouTube. Choose your platform. So without further ado, are we going to begin with a song this evening? We're going to open on page 128. Page 128 in the brackets, as we invite all our students up to the bima, all of our students to help lead us in Hine Matov. All our students, that's our 3rd graders, our 4th graders, our 5th graders, our 6th graders, and if you're not in one of those grades and you're here and you would like to participate, come on up. Hine Matov, how good and pleasant it is that we are all here today.
Why am I here? Because I don't want to give them for most of the year.
And if you decide during Hine Matov that you want to come up during, you can change your mind and come up during.
Shabbat
as we turn now in our Siddur to page 120 and 121 for the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles, it's my pleasure to call to the bima Oliver Lieberman with his family members, David, Kristen, Amelia, Theo, and Sebastian, are all welcome to come up to the bima to help lead us in the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles.
As these candles, Shabbat candles, give light to all who behold them, so may we be our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehad likner shel Shabbat.
And we continue now with the blessing for Kiddush, which you can find on page 123. Page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh, zeher letziyat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'harta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodsheha be'ahava u'ratzon in haltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
As we turn now in our Siddur in the back to page 603, that's 603 in the brackets, offering a blessing for one another. We join together in the middle of the page, and if you are here with a child or grandchild or the generation that comes after you and want to put your hands on their heads or their shoulders, or if we're thinking of all of us as part of the Jewish community and would like to put our hands on one another's shoulders as we offer this blessing to one another. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Amen. This is the part in our family where we offer the Shabbat Shalom kiss or hug. As we turn now to welcome in Shabbat with the singing of Lecha Dodi, we turn to page 138 in our Siddur, in the brackets. as we have taken a moment to welcome in Shabbat with L'Chadodi, we take a moment to turn to somebody, perhaps not the person next to us if we already know that person, but introduce ourselves to someone in front of us or behind us as we greet one another Shabbat Shalom. And if you're joining us through the blessing of technology, we invite you to say Shabbat Shalom in the chat and share where it is you are joining us this evening. And we can continue these conversations at our Oneg Shabbat following the service. So I'd like to at this time invite our third graders to come to the bima. If you're in third grade, could you come to the bima, please? And bring your song cards with you, because we are going to be singing and leading the congregation in Baruch Hu, Am I Awake?
All third graders. All third grade. And fourth. We'll take fourth. Third and fourth.
Third and fourth, come on up together so we will segue from one to the next.
Dada, you have to go back down.
And please bring your song cards. Fourth graders now lead us in Shema a little further down the page.
And why don't we have you all slide down this way so you're over by the microphones. Come on down. Beautiful, thank you.
As we turn to Ve'ahavta, and you can turn back in your Siddur to page 268. 268 in the brackets.
So if you're in third grade, you can have a seat. Are we ready? As we turn now to page 270, 270, we sing our song of freedom, our song of miracles, Mi Chamocha, and we're having our choir lead us in this prayer. So we are going to turn to page 271 as we join together in this prayer. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. As we turn now to our tefillah on page 273, I invite our 5th and 6th graders to come up to the bima as the congregation rises in body and spirit as we are able. 5th and 6th graders, please come forward. and bring your siddur too. As we turn now to page 281, 281, we read responsively. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. May be seated. As we turn our prayer inwardly to silent meditation, I'm going to invite our third and fourth graders to come to the bima, to the stairs, and you can have your silent prayer on the stairs if you want to sit on the stairs until we conclude our silent prayer, and you will be leading us in the prayer that follows, third and fourth grades to the bima. We might choose to use the words on the pages of our siddur through 285 or other prayers in the prayer book, or to turn inward into our hearts. Might want to take a deep breath and let it out, and settle into Shabbat rest and Shabbat meditation. We turn our thoughts and prayers now to those who are in need of healing. We also are thinking about the healing that still needs to take place in Israel and in the region, and we think about our own country, and our prayers go out to everyone. At this time, we send a special prayer of healing to those people in our extended Addith Emmanuel family. And if you're joining through the blessing of technology and have names to add, people whom you're thinking of who are in need of healing, whether it's a healing of the mind or body or spirit, add them to the chat at this time. We send our prayers of healing to Marlene Kaplan, Steve Brown, Sarah Gardner, Barbara Zabel, Shelley Pedito, Sam Huberman, Audrey Pomerantz, Edward Caporal, Jamie Oken, Bob Levine, Barbara Savage, Ava Mack, Bruce Tresky, Cheryl Abeloff, Alice Oppenheimer, Dolores Gross, Zev Kane, Tristan Sheehan, Terry Bittman, David Ebb, Jocelyn Jackson, Elaine Stein, Ethan Cheskis, Moshe Ben Chenoch V'Shoshana, Mary Lou Salvador, Chris Cheney, Philip Lutz, Jerry Dreskin, Yochanan Ben Yehudit, Merrill Green, Joe Wright, Libby Barsky, Malcolm Fletcher, Ellen Bertuglia, Mindy Fisher, Harry Greenberg, Nick Baud, Deb Nielsen, Moshe Ben Elizabeth Theodore, Jennifer Ness, Harriet Eisner, Chaim Ben David, Hugh Morton, Art Bond, Roberta Levine, Jordan Steinberg, Jeff Schaefer, Michael Infanti, Gary Garnick, Rick Ulrich, Ileana Cohen. And if there's those of you who are here in the congregation in person and have names of those whom you're thinking of and want to mention them aloud to send our blessings of healing to them, I invite you, as you're able, to stand and say those names aloud as my hand passes through the congregation.
Susan Yarmesh.
Baruch atah Adonai, rofei hacholim. And so I'm inviting now to the Bima those who celebrate their birthday or their anniversary during this month of March, or a special life event in March. And if you're watching through
the blessing of technology. You can rise in your place at home. And if you missed the February blessing, come on up for this blessing as well. As we're able, we rise in body and spirit. This is birthday blessings, anniversary blessings, and special life events. Yeah. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, God of our days and our years, author of life. Our times are in your hand, and we thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of those celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, and special life events during this month of March. God, be with them as the joy in their lives. May they be blessed with health and happiness, with the strength to overcome sickness. And may they have the joy of coming together for many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. May these milestone events remind us that as we may count every day of our life, a person of wisdom also makes every day count. And so, God, we join together in our prayer for gratitude, the Shechianu, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Our teachers and madrachim, you can stay on the bima, or you can go back down and come back up as you wish. And we're going to remain standing instead of sitting down, and remaining and standing up again. And if standing for long periods of time is a difficulty for you, feel free to be seated as you need. We are delighted to honor our teachers and our madrachim tonight. And so I'm going to share your names. Some of you are here in person. Some of you might be joining us through the blessing of technology. As you hear your names, come on up to the bima. Our Sunday K through 6 faculty, Orly Boudet, Adam Friedman, Renee Luboff Godfrey, Eleanor McMacken, Rabbi Renee Tobin. And our Sunday K through 6 and Wednesday teen night faculty, Xavier Brophy, Dana Fine, Shira Keats, Cindy Rosenberg, Michael Wemmer. Our Sunday Hebrew music and tefillah faculty, who are Lucas Bennett, Shana Goldberg, Liam Keat, and Eric Ostrovsky, as well as our Sunday madrachim. We are so blessed that we have so many wonderful teens who are role models in our classroom, and you are Matthew Einbinder, Rose Einbinder, Nathan Feinberg, Sydney Ginter, Leo Gorell, Sari Horwitz, Leah Katz, Brenna Kay, Caleb Keats, Scott Krasner, Aaron Lusterman, Jude McMacken, Brielle Sanders, Levi Sanders, Samuel Seidman, Talon Sugar, Eliza Wargo, Olivia Wolf, Chase Yalone. And we couldn't do it without the wonderful support that we have of those in the office. We have Heidi Kramer. We also have our, also affectionately known as Miss Heidi. And we have from our lay leadership side, our religious school chair, Rachel Mainwaring, along with our vice president, of Education, and that is Joe Horowitz, and of course our own religious school director, Abby Wolf. And so we are going to offer you this blessing. And so if you feel comfortable, I invite you as I stand before the ark that you might turn your direction to the Torahs. These Torah scrolls are what you teach our children. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless these teachers and madruchim. You are instructors of Torah and role models. For Torah is not only for today and tomorrow. From generations past, Torah has been placed into your hands to pass Lador Vador, from generation to generation and generations to come. To the teachers, madruchim, and the students of their students, to all who teach and learn, to all who give and receive and will continue to do so in the future, we at Erev Emmanuel are grateful how you embrace the value of Talmud Torah, providing building blocks of Judaism and nurturing knowledge at every level, from toddler to teen and beyond. Our goals are to study and learn, to question and probe, to challenge, even doubt, and to translate our learning into living. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, bless these teachers and madruchim, and these people who are an integral part of our religious school, that they not only teach and learn the values of our tradition, but that they grow from them, take them to heart and live by them. God, as you have blessed them in the past, be with them now and into the future. May you send blessing and success in every one of their endeavors. And let us say, Amen. And as a way of expressing gratitude, we say together, Shechianu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. And on your way down, you can find Mora Abby, and she will give you just a little something to express our appreciation for all you do for us and our school. And you may be seated. And if you are one of our students, we're going to tell the story now. So you're invited to have that seat right here on the stairs on the bima. You are one of our students and you want to come forward and have a seat on the bima for the story, you can choose at what age you think you are capping, but I had a student who, when she was 16, was really sad that she said, now that she became a bat mitzvah, she couldn't sit on the stairs. I said, so you decide and you can come and have a seat on the bima.
And you know what else is nice, Rabbi?
What?
Since Rabbi is telling a story, if you come up, you don't have to sing. All you have to do is listen to the story. So
right.
if singing made you nervous, come on up. You get to listen to a story.
Yes. So the blessing about the teachers was really, and the madruchim and those who support our religious school, here's a story which is about teachers and students. I think you'll get the connection. How many people like to travel? Okay, I like to travel too. But a long time ago, it was the turn of the 20th century, Jews who were living in Russia under the Tsar, there was an edict that restricted Jews from moving around too much
Jews lived in a place called shtetls. Shtetls were like little towns. So not too many people traveled around, but there was one kind of person who traveled, and the person who traveled was known as the Maggid. The Maggid. Maggid sounds a little bit like Haggadah. We're not yet at Passover, but a Maggid is somebody who goes around and tells sermons and stories and would go from town to town. And some of the Maggids would tell a story, and if they were dull and boring, the boys in the back of the synagogue, they would argue, and it would be so loud that you couldn't even hear what the Maggid said. But if the Maggid was talented and charismatic, then people would talk about the Maggid's stories for weeks to come. Now, one of the greatest of all the Maggids was known as the Great Maggid of Lublin. And he would travel all over the place, and he would pack the houses of synagogues for people to hear his lectures, his stories. And he had a lot of fans, but his number one fan was his coachman, the driver who took him around from place to place. And one day that coachman said to him, "You know, I've been working with you for 20 years now. I know all your sermons by heart. We're about to come to a town where nobody knows you. What do you think of the idea if I would be the Maggid and you would be the coachman? We could switch roles, we could switch clothes, and nobody would know, and I could just give one of your lectures." Well, the great Maggid said, "Yes, but what happens if they ask you a question?" The coachman said, "I'd just answer like you would answer." Now this Maggid, the great Maggid of Lublin, he had a great sense of humor, and he said, "Okay." And so they switched clothes, and then they drove into the next town that they had never been before. The coachman in the Maggid's clothes went into the synagogue, and there he taught a lesson as the great Maggid waited outside. The door was open, and he heard the words, and the Maggid was feeding the horses. And he said, "He's doing a pretty good job." And then the questions came. Boy, was the Maggid impressed. One by one, the coachman was answering those questions just as the Maggid would. And then it happened. One really smart student asked a question nobody had ever asked before. And the great Maggid said, "Let's see how he does now. How is he going to answer this question that's never been answered before?" So I wanted you to take 10 seconds if you have an idea how you think he answered this question, whisper it to the person you're next to you, how you think he answered it. Okay, so here's what happened. The coachman dressed up as the Maggid said in his most distinguished voice, "I cannot believe that you've asked such a simple question. That question is so simple that my driver outside, who has never stepped into a religious institution his whole life, that is so simple that he can answer it. Come on in, driver, and answer this question." And the great Maggid came in the coachman's clothes, and he answered the question perfectly. The end. We don't know what the question is. We just know that it was something that the great Maggid could answer. But the point of the story, of course, is that the coachman learned just from being in the presence of the great Maggid all those years that he was able to teach. And so it is for all of you. As being students with your teachers, you too will be able to teach. As we turn now in our Siddur to page 586 at the bottom of the page, which grades are leading us in Aleinu? So we want our 5th and 6th graders who are not already on the bima
to come on up and help lead us in Aleinu, page 586 at the bottom of the page. As we're able, we rise in body and spirit.
We don't have the.
Our thoughts and prayers turn now to those who are no longer with us, and so we turn in our Siddur to pages 598 and 599. As we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who've died in recent days and weeks, as well as those who've died during this Shabbat in past years, whose yahrzeits we mark. We mention by name David Albin, Sidney Albin, Jack Alpert, Warren Brand, Marlene Epstein, Irving Epstein, Paul Fetterman, Eugene Fetterman, Ina Feldman, Leah Glogauer Muntz, Bruce Hans, Harold Herbst, Ida Isidore, Bela Kennedy, Samuel Longer, Susan Otterberg, Joseph Samost, George Torres, Shirley Trackman, Seymour Huberman, Debbie Zack. If you're joining us through the blessing of technology, feel free to add any names at this time. And if you're here in the congregation and would like to add names, please, as you're able, to rise and say those names aloud as my hand passes through the congregation.
Ben Kretz.
Lauren Gutierrez. Barbara Barry.
Those who are here during the period of Shiva and Shloshim, or during the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise at this time. Those who have come here tonight to mark a yahrzeit, I invite you to rise at this time. And we think of those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own, those for whom there is no one to say Kaddish. I invite us now all to rise as one congregation in comfort and support as we continue with mourners Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah
V'alma divrach Yerute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei rabba mevarach leolam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'riachu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. T'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. May be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome Doug Richter, our synagogue president, to share with us a few hoda'ot, a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight in person and online. Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor Sandy and Lucas for leading tonight's service, and thank you all to our youth choir. Thank you to our students, our educators, and our staff for your participation tonight and for what you do all year long. Mazel Tov to the Lieberman family on Oliver's Bar Mitzvah, which starts tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., right after Torah Talk and Bagels at 8:45, of course. The announcements, Sisterhood Hamantashen sale is on Monday night. And what? They are running a few other events over the next few weeks, such as the Challah Bake and the Passover wine sale, so check your email for the flyers that have been in all the weekly emails. The Purim food drive and the social action sports equipment collection is in progress. They're both in progress. And again, details about those are in the weekly emails as well. Some save the dates on Sunday, March 9th, that's coming up. We have the Purim Carnival from 11 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. So, wait a minute. You got to remember that daylight savings is Sunday morning at 2 a.m., so Saturday night before you go to bed, set your clocks ahead of an hour. On Thursday, on March the 13th at 7 o'clock, we have the Megillah reading and the Purim spiel. And that's right here. Everybody is encouraged to come in costume.
There's a costume contest.
There is a costume contest, I hear. Okay. Next Sunday, busy day. We have a men's club brunch at 9, followed immediately by a special congregational meeting to approve some amendments to our Constitution. And that starts right at like 10:45. And then that afternoon, we also have family bowling that benefits our endowment fund. But that's not the only thing happening. If that wasn't enough, that is also the RSVP deadline for the second night of Passover Seder, the congregational Seder. So again, check your emails. The flyers are in there. All the RSVP links and information is right there. And that's it. I just keep checking your emails and the website for what's coming up in the next few weeks and months. And please join us in the social hall after services for Oneg. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This Shabbat has a special name. It's known as Shabbat Zachor. It means the Sabbath of remembrance. And it's always the Shabbat before Purim. And so I think we're getting ready for Purim by our closing song, reminding us of that person we're supposed to remember to forget. It is the super jerky, ultra rotten, extra large, atrocious.
So we have super jerky. Let me see, super jerky.
Super jerky.
Oh, I heard it. I didn't see it. Super jerky.
Super jerky.
Ultra rotten.
Ultra rotten.
Extra large.
Extra large.
Atrocious.
Atrocious.
One last time. Super jerky.
Super jerky.
Ultra rotten.
Ultra rotten.
Extra large.
Extra large.
Atrocious.
Atrocious.
Good. Everybody in religious school. I know you know the song. Come on up. Everybody. All the religious school kids. Let's go. Let's go.
And we invite all our children back to the bima to lead us in this song.
Madrikin, you can come if you want to. Wait. I'll start you. Ready? And super jerky, ultra rotten, extra large, atrocious. Next to him a piece of soggy pizza is precocious. If you call him knucklehead, he'll always get ferocious. Super jerky, ultra rotten, extra large, atrocious. The king has ordered us to bow as Haman passes by. We have to follow orders, but we really get that! So when we bow, we say a word that everybody knows. The biggest word you've ever heard, and this is how it goes. Super jerky, ultra rotten, extra large, atrocious. Next to him a piece of soggy pizza is precocious. If you call him knucklehead, he'll always get ferocious. Super jerky, ultra rotten, extra large, atrocious.
Please join me in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.